Hello guys, I really can't wait to start talking about gear. It's something that inspired the Telly African Stories series. But like we did last week, we had talked about the idea and the concepts, the synopsis, which is also the treatment. And then we talked a little bit about the script. So we have to follow some of these sequence, to be able to help people tell African stories the way they should be told, before we get to things like gear and, our gear choices and stuff like that. I really can't wait, to get to that point. I also like us to experience some of these things on set, even as we go, but today we'll be talking about something, that you should consider, after writing your script. And that's your storyboard. That's a storyboard, like that. Simple. You can imagine. It's pretty simple stuff, like that. But you need to be able to illustrate what you have in mind. Now, where does this storyboard come in? I would also, there's something else that I probably would also like to talk about. It's the short list. The short list is what, when you look at your scenes, all your film usually broken down into scenes, and then when you look at your scene, you come up with what your short list will be. A lot of creativity goes into your short list, because now, unlike your script that you have sort of like dialogue, creativity, and all of that, for your actors and all. Now, this part of it is the part that it's your cinematographer, DOP, that they get to interpret. This is the part that goes into the camera. So with your shot list, you can now decide that, okay, the first shot I want to show in my film is a wide shot, and then I want to show a CU of a cutaway, and then I want to show a medium shot. It's up to you, really. It's your story. There are not specific laws. Yes, the normal sequence is, oh yeah, show a wide shot first. But sometimes you can start with a CU. In fact, you can actually start with an XCU, which is an extreme close-up shot. It's just about knowing the rules and breaking them. And just let your creative genius or creative juices, take control, while you interpret your script. So the short list, you can, when you look at your scene, you can say, oh yeah, first shot wide, which is pretty normal, and then maybe you have two characters, sort of like talking and all that. So you have two shots of the two of them, which is sort of like a long shot. It's smaller than, the wide shot, which shows the entire environment. It's also called the master shot, and then you have the sort of like long shot that shows the two of them, and then you have OTS, that's over the shoulder shots, and then you have OTS for the first person, OTS for the second person, and then you have their dialogue. If you want to go further, you can still have, something like an individual CU and see you, for the individuals, or if there's a specific person that has some intense emotional sort of like connection or depth, you may want to go in closer. So those are some of the things that you want to think about. So all of this must be reflected in your short list. You don't just get to set and start deciding, oh, okay, now let me see, okay, let's have the, yes, there are times that you have to make spontaneous decisions, based on your creative sort of like, instincts, but then you should all have it all planned out. So whatever it is that you want to decide that you want to alter, to just be something that goes with the flow. So the short list, also informs this. So you can now visualize, especially when you have sort of like visual effects. There are things that are going to come into the shot that were not originally there in the shoot. So you have the storyboard, like maybe, for example, this is when you see this is a cutaway shot, of one of our short films, and all that, and then you have that. You soon see the film, so you know what the storyboard is for, but then you can see this is an XCU, sort of like XCU kind of, depending on what you are concentrating on now, so we have all of these shots, so we look at this, because it's an animation story, so we tend to, look at it to decide, okay, this is the next shot we're going to be, animating, that kind of thing, so yeah, storyboard, short list, they work hand in hand. It's very good for you to have a storyboard because it helps you to be very planned. Now, and if you have sort of like a storyboard with like color and stuff like that, it also helps with composition, so when your DOP and all that, they're trying to decide, things are pretty clear, so the more detailing you're able to put into this, the more planned that you can be. And honestly, I can tell you one thing for sure from experience, that the more you plan, the easier things get for you on set. Because honestly, when you get on set, things can be pretty confused, because there's a lot of things, a lot here, this, that needs to be sorted out, props, maybe the location suddenly comes to tell you that something, money here, logistics there, and all that. So if you planned with your story, some of these things, in fact, everybody becomes intuitive about it. They already know, okay, yeah, this sequence of shots, and they just run it, so you want to tell stories. Obviously, it's not easy, but it's possible. People are doing it, and if it's something that you desire, one corner of your heart, or it's something that is really big in your mind, I think it's time to go for it. There's no better moment. Everyone is, looking for content right nowadays, and it's something that we can take advantage of. So see you next week. Really excited, to have spoken to you today, and have an awesome week ahead.